Hi everyone, and welcome back to Fully Playable Games. So in today's video we are going to be pushing ahead with the games room updates, and in today's video we are going to be finishing off moving all of the games forward in the bookcases. So we are going to be tackling all of the, so basically the Mega Drive, Mega CD, Saturn, all of the Nintendo, all of the Xbox, and yeah, we've got quite a bit to go through. We've actually got, so there's a couple of shelves that I'm struggling a bit. We'll get to those as we go through. But what we're going to do is we're just going to dive straight into the Mega Drive, because what I've also done is ahead of time, I have gone through and I've cut all of the trunking that we need. I've added on all of the double-sided tape as well. So what we can do is we can just get in, get the shelves clear, and then get the trunking in. So yeah, it'll move a bit quicker today. So I think what I'm going to do is I am just going to dive in, get the whole first bookcase done, and then what we'll do is we'll come back, have a look at what we've done, and then have a chat about how we're going to progress forward with some of the other shelves, because yeah, I think there's one shelf in particular that I think I'm going to have to get creative with. So yeah, we'll see how well that goes. But yeah, so let me get you switched over to the GoPro, and then we'll dive in and get the first bookcase up and running. Okay, so the first bookcase is done. Yeah, a couple of bits I'm not happy about. Some of it I could possibly control, some of it I can't. So the first big one has to be the divider shelf. So at the moment there is like a massive gap between the top of the Mega Drive games and the shelf above. So I think what I'm going to do, because obviously that divider shelf is at the bottom, and then I've got a set of games, big gap, and then all the other shelves. I think I'm going to bump all the shelves above it down a bit, just to reduce that gap. And I might potentially do that across the board, because yeah, the GameCube, Xbox 360, they're all the same. So yeah, that's what I'm probably going to do for those shelves. The other bit I really don't like is the two Game Boy shelves at the bottom. But I think the issue with that is something I can fix, and that's because I've got the box protectors. They're all different ways, because with the Game Boy boxes, they're not all uniform in the fact that they all have the game title on the side. Some don't even have the game title at all. Others it's on the top, others it's on the side, others it's on the other side, and yeah, there's just no consistency with it, unlike all the other games in the collection. So what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to go through and actually just reorientate the boxes within the box protector, see if that makes a bit of a difference. Other than that, I don't really see anything else I can do with them. I haven't got the space to have them front on. I would admit I've seen some other people that have them sort of like staggered front on. So if I really get to the point where I don't like it, I might look to do that. But yeah, at the moment, I'm not happy with it. And I think given half the choice, I'd probably actually take the Game Boy out of the shelves, which I really don't want to do, because I love having it in there. I may, do you know what I might even do is we could also potentially just really restrict it down and just have the sort of the best of the best facing forward, and then everything else is behind it. Yeah, so there's a couple of different ideas that I've got with that. That's something I'm going to look at in the future. I'm not worried about it tonight, because next up we've probably got the shelf that I have been putting the most thought into, and the one shelf that I'm still struggling with. So yeah, let's switch over to the other camera. I'll do a voiceover for this one because yeah, we're going to be doing quite a bit with it, and then yeah, we'll see how we're going to tackle that. Okay, so the shelf in question that I've got a lot of problems with is my NES shelf. So as you can see, we've got a whole stack of carts stacked vertically. We've got boxes stacked vertically. We've got boxes stacked on their side. It is just a very sort of mixed matched shelf. So yeah, what we're going to have to do, well, what I want to try and do is to actually have a bit of a support system to go behind the carts. So what I'm thinking is, so I get a couple of these. So I'm thinking about having the normal bit of trunking go across the bottom, then place a bit up the top, and then in between that have a couple of sort of vertical bits of trunking in the middle that will actually stop these upper ones being pushed back. That's what I'm thinking. Whether it works is going to be a completely different kettle of fish. But yeah, as I say, it is something I want to try it. I want to see how it goes. It might be a spectacular failure, or it might be the greatest engineering marvel of the 21st century. We don't know. But what I do want to do first is I do want to quickly go through and just adjust these a bit, because in with the loose carts, we do have a couple that we do now have in boxes. So for example, DuckTales, I've got that boxed. Mario 2, we've got that complete in box, as well as Mario 3. So I think what I want to try and do is I want to try and get rid of this stack here. So I'm also going to take out Kickoff, this one. So what we got, 2, 4, 5. So let's see where we're at. Right, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 5 that I need to. So I need to whittle down another 5. I don't know if I'm going to be able to, because I will admit, with my NES games, I'm actually really happy with the ones that we've got. I'll tell you what, I'll take POW out. I think, yeah, that's an NTSC game. So that can go to the back. Right, so now down to 4. Yeah, as I say, all of my NES are ones that I've actually wanted to pick up. Isolated Warrior, I'll tell you what, I'll take that one out for now, because... So what have we got? We've got Time Lord. We've got Digger, The Legend of the Lost City, Hunt for Red October, and Wrath of Black Manta. Right, so tell you what, I'll deal with those in a bit. But what I want to do as well, so at the moment it's quite a mixed match as well, with regards to ones that are in cases and ones that aren't. So the ones that aren't, that I'm keeping out, I'm going to put there for a minute. Right, so they've all got cases on. They've all got cases. They've all got cases. And they haven't. Right, so that's essentially how I want that bit. And then next up, I want to make sure that I'm actually able to get... Oh yeah, I've got tons of room. So yeah, by getting rid of that extra stack, it's given me a lot of room, actually. Yeah, so that's the thing. If I didn't have, so this is the other choice that I've got. I can either take out one of the boxed games and put that behind, and then have another stack of carts, or I can put all of the carts behind and have an extra game, but then a big gap. Or I could do it like that. When did building a games room become so hard? What do I do? What do I do? The thing is, if I was going to take one out, I've not got a lot of boxed ones. So, obviously, the 3 Marios are staying out. DuckTales will stay out. Tetris, the Double Dragons. So, it's between Gremlins, Disney Adventure, Marble Madness, Snake Rattle and Roll. But, oh no, I will be able to be flexible. No, do you know what? I'm going to leave the boxed ones out. And I am just going to put the extra ones behind. Right. So those 2 are staying. Those 2 have got to come to the front as well. Right. So that's how. So these ones are definitely going to the back. That's fine. So, right. Let's start by getting. Let's get everything out now. Now we've finalised the layout. Let's lift everything out. First off, we'll get the bottom bit of trunking in. Right, so that's that bit. So, let me just check, because I'm pretty sure these are... Right, so the carts are just slightly longer than the cases. So what I'm going to do is we're going to base the positioning off of the carts. I'm having to do this standing on my tiptoes as well. Wait a minute, this tape has not been coming off easy today. When I was doing some of the Mega Drive shelves, I think at one point I had to literally use my teeth to get a bit off. Right. So let's get this one in first. Right, so that's that bit in. Right, so now I've got to work out. I don't want to stick this one up yet until I work out how I'm going to actually get the vertical bits of trunking in. So I've got an option. I can either use a couple of bits of offcuts, or I can just put them on the shelf. I think the off-cut idea is going to be the better one. So what my plan is with that is to cut a couple of bits, put them like that. Do you know what? Give me 2 minutes. I'm going to have a bit of a think about this because, yeah, I'm still struggling to think of how to attach the vertical bits of trunking to the bottom bit of trunking. So give me a minute. I'm going to have a bit of a think, and then, yeah, I'll come back and tell you, hopefully, how I'm going to do it. Okay, so I think I might have come up with a solution. don't know how effective it's going to be. So we're going to try it and see how we get on. So what I've done is I've cut out a bit of trunking that will act as our sort of vertical bar, as we call it. Then I've cut a couple of small bits of trunking as well. And what I'm actually going to do is going to put them on the side of the upright. So I'm going to put one either side, just like that. If I can get them to hold while I show you. So put them just like that. Then I'm going to put some tape across the bottom. And what I'm actually going to be using is I'm actually going to be switching up to this tape. And this is the stuff that I mentioned the other week that I was going to potentially use to replace the double-sided tape that we have been using on the trunking. Because this stuff, I think with this stuff, you could literally put a bus on the side of a building. It is just so strong. I think I've used it in the past for holding floors down and everything. It is absolutely brilliant. So what we're going to do is we'll get our small bits, we'll put a bit of tape on the side of the small bit, then attach that to the upright, then basically put a strip across the bottom of the upright. And then what we'll do is trying to work out which way is best to do it. I'm probably going to put this bit up and see if I can get it in, because yeah, at the moment I'm just flying by the seat of my pants. So let me get this stuck on, and then yeah, we'll take it from there. Okay, so I've made my little thingy-ma-what's-it, but lining it up, we've got probably about 1 to 2 mil gap between the sort of top and the bottom. So I can either stack up some double-sided tape to get the height that I need, or I can actually put some double-sided tape over the front to sort of bridge the gap. That's probably going to be the better idea, actually, because I think if I put tape on the top, it's then going to be quite difficult to actually get it in and stuck in the right position, whereas if we stick it to the bottom and then use tape across the front, it will pull the games forward just a tad, but I think for the minimal amount of room that the tape is going to take up, that will probably be the better shout. So so if we get this one in there, so we need to position it about there. I think that's reasonable. So as I say, this is either going to be the greatest thing ever, or it is going to completely fail. But as they say, if you don't try, you never know. Right, so right, so that bit's on. Right, so let's get a bit cut of the tape. As I say, this stuff is a nightmare to deal with because it is so sticky. I don't know if you've seen, as I've been using it on, like, to make my little thingy-ma-what's-it, but it's been sticking to the scissors and everything. So what I am going to do is, obviously, I'm going to put it on, but leave the top cover coating on. Right. Right. So there it is on the I think as long as I'm not overly forceful, it might be okay. but yeah, not 100% on it. So let's get the games in. Right, well I can already see it's not worked. It's nowhere near perfect, but I think, I don't know if it's coming out on camera, but there's a bit of an arc. But to say, they're not pushing back, if that makes sense. So I think as a first attempt, it's not been too bad. I think what I probably need to do is to put something else behind, because I think with just the tape, it's got a bit too much flexibility up the top there. So maybe put a couple of bits of trunking behind it. I think this is going to be something I'll probably revisit. But for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through, I'm going to create another 2 of those, get them in, and then yeah, we'll get the rest of the games in the shelf. Okay, so I've done the next 2 things, whatever we're going to call them, but we are now on to version 2.0. So what I've done is, instead of having the upright bit of trunking long ways, I'm actually doing it on the side and then using the side bits there. So these will actually line up with the trunking. So yeah, hopefully that will give it a bit of a better fit. And also this one does fit in a lot tighter. So you'll see there, I can get it to stick at the bottom, but it is still, it's tighter up the top. So what I'm probably going to do is, instead of having the tape on the front, is I'm going to get a couple of bits of trunking, and then I'm just going to put them behind and then put another one behind that. That way it's sort of like a block behind it. And yeah, what we'll do is, with that, I'll probably put it up with the strong tape. So yeah, that will probably hold it in. And yeah, we'll see how we get on with that. So that's the plan for those. So I've got, that was the first one I done. So slightly smaller on the arms coming out. And then this third one that I've done, the arms are a lot wider. But give me 2 seconds. I'm just going to go and cut this into 2 so that we can put it up the top. Okay, so I've got the extra bit of trunking done. And what I'm going to do is put one of the cased games in place. And then, yeah, so we've got a bit of play. I think the shelves bow in a bit in the middle, so that's why the one in the middle is actually sitting there a lot better. But what I'm going to do is, so this bit will go just up here, and then this will sit in front of it. As I say, this is all just, this is going to be a sort of a temporary solution to this. I am going to try and concoct something that is a bit better. But I think for now, it's a bit of a bodge job just to get it all in. Okay, so just line it up with the trunking. And there we go. So, as I say, not perfect. I think what I could probably do is actually put another bit of double-sided tape on the back there to actually hold that in place. But to be quite honest, it's only, this bit's only designed to... Okay, sorry about that. Didn't realise that my camcorder had actually died. So, yeah, you would have probably seen and heard some really bad GoPro footage. But yeah, so with this, this bit at the back here isn't actually meant to do much, just stop the bit of trunking being pushed back. So yeah, for now, we'll keep that as is. And then if we put Donkey Kong in, Then put the rest of the stack in. And then the final one. There you go. So we'll, yeah, probably say that that is a bit better than the first one that we've done. But yes, so right, give me a minute. I will be right back. I'll get the last one in, get the last set of carts in, and then yeah, we will crack on. We'll get the rest of the NES in, and then we'll start cracking on with the rest of the shelves. Okay, so there we go. We have got the NES in, and yeah, like I say, I can push on sort of everything, and there's a bit of movement, but they're not going flying to the back. So yeah, I can live with that for now. Obviously, this is something I'm going to put a bit more thought into, and yeah, potentially try and design something a bit better. To be quite honest, what I would like to do, even though it would end up meaning actually taking more away from here, is to actually 3D print some cartridge holders. But at the moment, I need to do some work on my 3D printer before I can start doing stuff like that. But that is something I want to try and do long term. And then, yeah, so cracking on. The next stages that we've got is going to be basically just get the rest of the Nintendo shelves done. I think the only one that I'm going to give a miss to at the moment is the shelf that we've got next to the Wii U, because at the moment it's just got big boxes and odds and sods and everything like that. I don't know what I'm going to do with that shelf. I think I'm hoping long term that I can have it as Wii U expansion, but the problem I've got is that the Wii U cardboard, because of the little tab on top, doesn't stand up, and I don't want to fold these. The boxes that I've got are in really good condition, so I want to make sure that they're kept in that good condition. So yeah, I don't want to stand those up, and if I can't adjust the shelves anymore, because yeah, it would affect the shelves further down. So I'm going to leave that as is. And yeah, I'm not going to really do anything with that shelf in today's video, but yeah, we might find something later on. But yeah, for now, what we're going to do is we're going to crack on. Let's get the rest of the Nintendo shelves done, and then yeah, we will come back before I start hitting up the Xbox shelves, because yeah, I don't really know what I'm going to do there yet, because, well, I know what I'm going to do. I mean, it's just one shelf that I'm a bit stumped on. But yeah, we'll tackle that in a bit after we've done the Nintendo shelves. Okay, so now that we've got all of the Nintendo shelves done, I have to say, I am absolutely loving the Nintendo shelves. I really am. I think so far, apart from this shelf, which we just won't talk about, it doesn't exist. Yeah, I'm really liking them. I really am. I think out of all of them, all the shelves that we've done so far, I'd have to say the Nintendo ones have turned out the best for me. Because even now, looking at the PlayStation wall, there are changes that I'm going to be making. And yes, I'll go into that another time. But obviously, the Sega wall, yeah, I think once we all reorganise the shelves there, and then obviously that will follow on into here as well, we should be all right. And I think that will be another shelf that I really like. But until that's done, I'm not a massive fan of it. But for now, I am absolutely loving the Nintendo shelves. So the only ones that we've got left to do now are the Xbox shelves. But before we do then, I am going to pop out for a bit. So we're going to head off to CEX, see if we can get some new additions. And yeah, we will then come back. I'll go through any pickups that I'm able to get, and then we will start tackling the Xbox shelves. So yeah, obviously with the Xbox shelves, it's going to be another one that's going to be fairly straightforward. And I say fairly because, yeah, we are going to do a bit of testing with regards to the 360 shelves. Because I actually put out a question in last week's video as to, do we dedicate a whole shelf to my collector's editions, or do we just put them behind out of sight? And yeah, I will admit some of the comments that we've had on that are actually quite interesting. So there's been comments about, yes, do a shelf dedicated to the 360 collector's editions. But then there was one comment that I saw that actually, I will admit, as soon as I read it, I was like, yeah, I can see where they're coming from with that. The fact that with the collector's editions, there's no uniformity to them. So you'll have like slightly bigger boxes, slightly smaller boxes. You'll have steel books, you'll have non-steel books. And yeah, I'm just sort of looking at them, and it could potentially look very untidy. So yeah, what we're going to do is when we get onto the 360 shelves, I am going to, before we put the trunking down on that shelf, I'm going to set them up with the collector's editions, and then we'll see how that looks. If it doesn't look great, or yeah, it just doesn't flow right, then we'll stick them behind for now. As I say, not to say that I won't change it in the future, but yeah, so we'll deal with that when we get back. But yeah, for now, let's head out. I need to get out for a little while. And yeah, we'll see what we can pick up. Okay, so that was the trip to CEX, and yeah, I have to admit, I am really happy with the games that I picked up. I actually went in there with the mindset that I was going to fill some gaps. So that is games that I've got a downgrade. I've got the last game I need for a complete set. I've got a game that I've been wanting for a while, and I've also got a GameCube game. So yeah, we have got a whole load to go through. I've also got probably one of my favourite pre-orders that I've played in absolutely ages. But one thing I do want to address before we move on, because I'm probably going to get a load of rage comments, and that is around the Wii games that we put into the shelf. So you would have seen as I was stacking stuff into the shelf, I was just putting a lot of high-end Wii games behind. That is just a temporary thing. So I am going to go through, when I go through and alphabetise it all, I am going to go through all of the Wii games and actually sort out what ones I'm going to put to the front and what ones I'm going to put to the back. I didn't want to sit there doing it on camera today because it would have just dragged the video out. So yeah, don't worry, I am going to be sorting out the Wii games, and yeah, definitely pulling a lot of the games forward that I've been putting at the back. And I've noticed that myself as I was putting stuff in, that I was putting some high-end games towards the back. They're not staying there, so I just want to reassure everyone of that. Then next up, so before we get into the pickups, I want to say the first 3 pickups that we're going to be looking at are all on the PS3, and all but one I haven't been able to capture footage for. And there's a good reason for that, and this goes back to something that, I'm going to read his name off my phone, Mark Loves Carp Fishing posted on the video that we done when we set up the TV unit. I have not put a PS3 up. So yeah, obviously we've got the PS2 in there, so we can play PS2, PS1s. We've got the PS5, which can play the PS4. But then, yeah, we missed out the PS3. So what we're going to do is, in the next video, I think one of the first jobs that we'll take on, we'll do an update to the TV unit. I'll probably have to get another HDMI switch put in. But what we'll do is we'll put another HDMI switch in, and then I'm just going to put the PS3 just next to the TV unit, sitting vertically. And then what I will do eventually is I will go through, I think I've got a 60 gig backwards compatible that just needs a bit of a clean. The fan's running sort of a bit loud. So I'm going to get that cleaned up, and then I'm actually going to swap it out, put it in there, and then probably take the PS2 out, and then yeah, give me a bit of room to actually put another console in there. I don't know which one yet, but yeah, that will be something I'll do in the future. For now, I just want to be able to get the PS3 in. So in the next video, we will tackle getting the PS3 in before we jump onto the main job for the next video. But diving into the games that we got. So the first one that I got, I'll be honest, I got this just because it looked stupid, silly, interesting. I'll let you make your mind up with that. And that is iCreate. So iCreate is a video editing game that was released for use with the PlayStation iCamera. And yeah, I thought, do you know what, it would be funny to actually film this part of the video with this, but because I haven't been able to get the PS3 set up, and I'll be quite honest, I don't know where all my spare iCameras are. I didn't get a chance to do it, but yeah, we will have a play about with this in the future. So you'll see there, I paid £1 for it. Looking it up online, it goes for £4 on CEX. And I've got no clue where I'm going to put these games today, so I'm just going to stick it there for now. Right, moving on. The next PS3 game is still a Move game, technically, but the big reason I got this was it actually completed a subset. And that is Time Crisis Rising Storm. So this was the last game, the second, no, it wasn't actually, I'm thinking about it. No, I'm missing one more after this. Well, I say I'm missing one more. I've been going through my PS2 games, and I was 99% sure that I had Time Crisis 3. I've got Time Crisis 4, but I've been looking through and I cannot see Time Crisis 3. So I'm hoping once I go through and alphabetise the PS4 game, but PS2 games, that I'll find it. Because looking at the front cover, I definitely recognise it. But yeah, just haven't seen it. So yeah. But yeah, I think after this one, the only other one that I need now is Time Crisis 5, which I've got to check because I'm not sure if it got a console release. So yeah, I need to check. I'll put a little note down the bottom if it did. But that is the only one that I don't have in the collection at the moment. So yeah, when I saw this there, decided to grab it. Obviously, one, it being a Time Crisis game, and I'm trying to get all of them. And also, it is a light gun game. So it'll actually work with the flat screen TV. But what's good about this one is it actually does have, it's got 3 different games on it. So we've got Time Crisis Blazing Storm, we've got Time Crisis 4, that's the arcade version, and Dead Storm Pirates, which I don't know anything about. But yeah, as I say, it was another Time Crisis game to tick off the list. So I picked that up for £6. Looking it up online, it goes for about £15 on eBay. So yeah, really good one there. Then now we're getting into all the games that I did manage to capture footage for. So I'm just going to dive straight in with this one, and that is Uncharted 2 Among Thieves on the PS3. I'll get there in a minute. So the big reason for picking this up was that this is essentially a downgrade. Because at the moment we have the Steelbook edition in the collection. But as I was filling the shelves for the PS3, I noticed that we had the Steelbook but didn't have the sort of standard version. So when I went in, that was one of the first games that I wanted to sort of pick up. So yeah, went in there, managed to find one with a good manual, good case. And yeah, what we'll do is we'll put the Steelbook to the back and then have this one at the front so that it matches the other 2 games that we got. So released in 2009 by Naughty Dog, this is a third-person shooter and set 2 years after the events of the first game, where treasure hunter Nathan Drake is approached by former associate Harry Flynn to help steal a Mongolian oil lamp connected to the Italian explorer Marco Polo's doomed 1292 voyage from China. Uncharted 2 Amongst Thieves received universal acclaim, being praised as one of the best video games of all time, earning numerous Game of the Year awards. The game got 41 perfect review scores, receiving a Metacritic score of 96 out of 100. And yeah, I have to admit, this was actually the first Uncharted game that I ever played, and I actually borrowed it off my sort of brother-in-law at the time, and I was playing it. Obviously played the first level, got to the second level, and I just could not get into it. So yeah, I ended up never really got into the Uncharted games, but I will say in recent years I've definitely much more got into them, and they are a series of games that I do want to play through. So we have got the Uncharted, the Nathan Drake collection, sorry, on the PS4. So that's the one that I'm going to play when I sit down to play them. But yeah, I wanted to make sure that we had this one in the collection so that it matched in with the other games. So we actually ended up paying £1.50 for that. Looking it up online, it goes for about £4 on eBay. Then, moving on, we have got Scream Ride on the Xbox One. So, this was released in 2015 and was developed by Frontier Developments. Scream Ride is a construction simulator and puzzle game developed by Frontier developers, the developer best known for Planet Coaster and the Jurassic World Evolution games. The game features more than 50 levels, 3 gameplay modes, Engineer, Scream Rider and Demolition Expert. Scream Rider received positive reviews from critics, with praise particularly directed to the game's fun element, gameplay, destruction, themes and puzzle design, scoring a 71 out of 100 on Metacritic. And yeah, this was a game I've been wanting to pick it up for years now, probably since early days of picking up my actual Xbox One, but just never felt the need to sort of jump in and pick it up. So saw it at CEX, decided, you know what, I'm going to give it a go. I've been thinking about picking it up for years now, so yeah, I just thought I'd sort of pull the trigger. And for the sake of £2, I was like, yeah, if it's atrocious, then I'll pick it. Then it's not a big loss. I'll be honest, when I did pick it up, I didn't realise it was a Frontier Developments game. And I actually have to admit, I really enjoyed playing this. Really enjoyed capturing the footage for the video. It's definitely a completely different take on the sort of roller coaster sort of simulation game. And yeah, definitely one that if I just want to go in and either do stupid things, ride the roller coasters, whatever, it's an easy one to just pop in and play. So as I say, I picked it up for £2 from CEX, and it goes for about £4.50 on eBay. Right, so next up, we're going to be diving onto the Xbox 360. And for this one, we have got Street Fighter X Tekken. So yeah, I saw this sitting there, and I will admit, it was pretty much a no-brainer. I think the only thing that sort of was going to stop me picking this up was if it didn't have the manual. But opened the box, saw the manual sitting there, and I was like, yeah, definitely. And yeah, I have to admit, playing this, I thought it controlled really well, really enjoyed the fighting style. So released in 2012 by Capcom, the game features characters from both Street Fighter franchise and Namco's Tekken series. In the game, players control teams of 2 characters in a tag team fighting match, with the objective to knock out the members from the other team. The core gameplay is similar to that of Street Fighter series, incorporating elements such as super combos and EX attacks. Street Fighter X Tekken received positive reviews from critics, with a Metacritic score of 83 out of 100 for the Xbox 360 version. And yeah, as I say, really enjoyed playing this. I thought the graphics looked absolutely stunning, and yeah, definitely one that I'll be popping in and playing whenever I want a good fighting game. Then moving on to the last pickup from CEX, and that is Smuggler's Run Warzones. So released in 2002 by Angel Studios. The game is actually a port of the PS2 sequel released in 2001. And similar to the original game, the overall objective in most missions is to deliver illegal contraband from a pickup to a drop-off spot given in a given amount of time. The player would also have to avoid local armies and border patrol during these missions. The game received favourable reviews according to Metacritic, with a score of 79 out of 100. And I'll be honest, I haven't actually ever played any of the Smuggler's Run games. I've had multiple copies of it on the PS2, but never actually taken the time to pop it in and play. And I have to admit, I did enjoy playing it. The graphics, I will admit, even for the GameCube, did look dated, but the gameplay worked really well. No issues actually playing the game. So yeah, it was an interesting one. I think that's another reason when I saw it sitting there on the shelf, I was thinking to myself, you know what, I've had so many copies of Smuggler's Run, and yeah, do you know what, I'm just going to grab it for 2 reasons. One, I'll end up playing it for the video, and 2, it's another new GameCube game for the collection. So ended up picking this one up for £8. Looking it up online, it goes for £12 on eBay. And yeah, the ability to check off another GameCube game is always going to be a winner. And then moving on to our final game. This is actually a pre-order that I made from PlayAsia. And that is Full Metal Schoolgirls on the PS5. So developed by CEX, this is a third-person shooter. And in the game, you star as cyborg high school girl, I'm going to butcher these names, Rikio and Amy, fighting a megacorp in dystopian Japan. Known for its chaotic skill-based gameplay and PS2 style era anime vibes, the game is often confused with Full Metal Panic, an anime manga series, but is distinct from it. The game received mixed reviews and currently has a Metacritic score of 71 out of 100 on the PS5. And I will say, out of all the versions that are listed on Metacritic, this is actually the best rated version. Equally, I will completely disagree with that rating. I absolutely love this game. It is actually, at the moment, it's taken me away from Horizon. Forbidden West I picked up in the last video, because yeah, I have just really enjoyed this game, and yeah, I have spent a fair amount of time on it, and it's one, yeah, as I say, still really enjoy playing it, and definitely going to play it through as quickly as I can. And the other thing that really sort of caught me with this was actually the title song. It is an absolutely amazing intro song. If you get the chance, look it up on YouTube if you haven't got the game itself. But equally, I will just say, pick up the game. It is an absolutely brilliant game, and definitely one you're not going to be disappointed with. So, as I say, I picked this up from PlayAsia, and this is actually a PlayAsia pre-order. Paid £54.53. Looking it up online, it's currently going for about £65 on eBay. So, yeah, really happy to have that in the collection. And yeah, that is going to go onto the growing pile of PS5 games that we actually need to sort out into the shelves. Which, yeah, we'll probably try and do a lot of sorting out in the next video. But back to today, and yeah, our next port of call is going to be tackling the Xbox shelves. So, as I said earlier on, what we're going to be doing is, so for the original Xbox, we're just going to be pulling everything forwards, and most of the 360 shelves we're just going to pull forward. But what I'm actually going to do, the last shelf that we've got down the bottom there, I'm trying to think whether we do it down there or down there. But one of the two shelves that we've got, I'm actually going to mock it up with the collector's editions that we've got, just to see what it looks like, and then whether we decide to put those at the front of the shelves and put some more towards the back, or if we put them to the back and just have the normal labels towards the front. So that's the big one that we're going to be doing. But what I'm going to do for now, I'm going to sort of just do a quick montage of us doing the Xbox shelf, the Xbox One shelf, and then all but one of the 360 shelves. And then what we'll do is I'll slow things down, and then we'll have a look at the what will be the collector's edition shelf potentially. So let me get you switched over to the GoPro, and then we'll get cracking with those shelves. Okay, so I've pretty much got most of the bookcase done now. We've got one shelf of Xbox 360 left. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a look now. Before we do the bottom two shelves of Xbox One, yeah, we'll just have a look now about how we're going to deal with the collector's editions. And I think, first off, I've already made my biggest mistake, because I've left the last shelf and the games don't fit on it. So I think what I'm going to have to do, I don't want to pull these off. I'll tell you what I'll do. For now, just going to, let me just move the Xbox One games. And then we'll use this bottom shelf for now. And I'll move the angle of the camera down a bit. Right. There we go. So what we'll do is we'll sort of mock it up on this shelf, and then yeah, see how we get on. So I don't know if I'm even gonna, yeah, I can get. So what I did decide was, instead of having collector's editions spread throughout the Xbox shelves, I thought, you know what, let's make everything on here. So even things like my original Xbox, Grand Theft Auto, and I think we've got the Lord of the Rings set as well. I'm going to put them all on this shelf. But what we'll do is I'm just going to line them up at the front for now, and basically just see how they look. One of the biggest problems I'm going to have is they're all different sizes. So it's either going to be an intricate web of sort of different bits of trunking. But let's have a look. So, right, so we've got the cardboard Xbox 360s. That one I'm going to put behind because it doesn't have the outer sleeve. So I'm going to leave that to the side for a minute. Right, so we've got cardboard, steelbook, so that will go with that one. That's Xbox, steelbook, mini disc labels, steelbook, and different size big one. So I think this is where the problem is really going to come in. So I'll put those like that. I think that one, yeah, that one's bigger. As I say, I'm just putting them in for the second, just so that we can get them in. Well, admit, I am proper gutted about this one, because this got crushed in the move. I don't know if you can see. Absolutely gutted, because this was pristine. Yeah, so that was a bit, I was a bit unhappy about that. Right, I'll put the steelbooks in, and let me just move them all to the front a bit. Right, Halo 2 in there. So obviously we haven't got enough to put them all the way across, but obviously we can fold some out. I will admit, I still don't know about this. I'll tell you what, let's get it so that it's a complete shelf. So if I move that all across. So, hello, you are. Right, I want to put Dark Souls. Want that like that. The thing is doing that like that is not going to give me enough room to put any of the others. Because all of these are going to be the same width, but we're not going to be able to get all of them in. I suppose, yeah, I could get, if I take that Batman out, right, what I am going to do, so I don't want two next to each other that are forward facing. Right. So, that is essentially how I would have it. And I think, bar these last two, I could probably get trunking behind it, because I think all of these are pretty uniform. So it would just be these last two that I don't put trunking behind. I'm really not sure. Right, I'm going to put this to a vote, and I need need your help with this. So, do we set up this shelf like this, or do we set it up like this? I think what I'm going to do is, because I need the extra height over this, I'm going to make it this shelf. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to touch this shelf, and then I can swap them round. But let me know in the comments down below. Do we change this shelf into the collector's editions, or do we keep it as just a standard shelf and then we put these behind? So yeah, let me know down below, and then what we'll do is we'll make that the first job in next week's video, is to get that dealt with. And yeah, hopefully that will then sort of tick off all of the shelves, and yeah, we'll be able to finally wrap up all of the shelves. I will admit, I am loving how everything's looking. So yeah, I'm looking forward to just getting this last bit done. So yeah, give me 2 minutes. I'm going to get the Xbox One shelves done, and then yeah, we can call it a day for today. Okay, so that is the last of the Xbox shelves now done. And what I have done is this last shelf, I have just pulled all the games forward, but I've not put a bit of trunking or anything behind it, just so that it's a bit more uniform. Because, yeah, apart from this shelf, which I am going to have a bit of a think about what I'm going to do there, yeah, the bookcase is looking really good. Forgot to put these in. I'll deal with those in a minute. But yeah, I will admit, now that everything is towards the front, and it's looking a lot more uniform, definitely loving it. So, yeah, where are we going from here? So obviously next week's video, I want to get this shelf addressed, whether we're going to keep it like this, or if we're going to keep it with the collector's editions. So yeah, with that, let me know in the comments down below, and then yeah, whatever option wins, we will do that in the next video. So the other bits that I want to do, which I'm going to be doing over the next few weeks. So I think next week I want to tackle the themed shelves. So if you remember back into the old games room, just above the door we had the Fallout and Resident Evil shelf. So that's going to go back in above the door in this room. But I'm also now going to put another theme shelf above the window behind the TV. And I'm thinking it's probably going to be Minecraft, and I might put some of the bigger collector's editions that I've got, because I have one of the collector's editions that I've got in a box behind the camera is my Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach collector's edition, and I've hated the fact that I've never been able to get it out because I've just never had the space for it. So I think I'm going to definitely put that up on the shelf, and then I might put my Rugrats, Clock Tower and Rocket Knight Adventure boxes up there as well. We'll keep the games in the PS5 shelf, but yeah, we'll deal with that as well. Plus, I want to get some of these games tidied up as well. So we've got a lot of games that we've picked that have been in sort of pickups over the last few weeks. I want to start getting those into the shelves now. And then going forward, there are sort of more shelves that I want to put up around the room. So I want to hopefully try and get a couple of shelves next to the door, where I can put some of my collector's edition statues. Then I'm going to put some shelves on the right side of the TV. That's going to be for my action figures. So I don't know if I've got one to hand. No, it's over there. So I've got a couple of SSS, Tricky, some Final Fantasy, and a Kingdom of Hearts one as well. In the old games room, they were just moved from pillar to post. They were never put on display. So this time round, I want to get them on display and actually have a section of the room dedicated to sort of the action figures. And then I'm thinking of potentially put a couple of shelves this side as well. One for my big WWF Collector's Edition, and the other one to house my Mario walkie-talkies. So yeah, I'll see. We'll look at that. And then, right, so I'm hoping that will probably take us up to the end of the year. And then next, sort of back in January, I am going to have to revisit the office / games room 2 because, yeah, the carpet isn't sitting right. It's starting to sort of bunch up in the middle where I've got my sort of office chair in there. So what I'm thinking of doing, I'm potentially thinking about completely redoing that room. That will be basically have all the wallpaper down, completely redecorate it, redo the carpet, and yeah, just add some more shelves in. So yeah, we'll be completely redoing that room, I think. But yeah, that will all depend on sort of money. Need to get past Christmas. But yeah, I will admit I am absolutely loving the way that the room's coming along. There are still bits I want to change, but I don't know how to change them. So the big thing is the consoles around the top of the room. Now, I've had a couple of people say since doing these videos that it just looks really untidy, and 100% agree. The only reason that I've got them the way that I have is that when I get to things like the PS3 boxes, for example, there just isn't enough room between the top of the bookcase and the ceiling to actually get them in standing upright. Because the way I would like to have it is to just have them sort of staggered, front facing. And then when you get to things like the Nintendo, so like my SNES box, it's a massive box and it would just take up so much room and take away from some of the other stuff on the shelf. So yeah, definitely another area that I want to revisit is sort of how the console boxes are displayed. But once again, that is something I've not even put any thought into it yet. And that will be sort of going forward. But for now, I am going to wrap the video up there before I sit here for another hour rambling. But yes, so if you did enjoy the video, don't forget to hit that like button. If you're not already, smash that subscribe button. And if you are watching on mobile, don't forget to smash that hype button to help promote the video to other people. And yeah, with that said, thank you so much for watching today. Really hope you enjoyed the video. And I'll see you on the next one. All right, bye.